By the way, Asmund is starting to feel the heat of being a political creator. He says everyone needs to chill. Well, he's Asmongold, all right, taking after an inspirational figure in history, okay? He has been fighting a war on two fronts, okay? He's been fighting a war on two fronts, okay? On one side, you have Hassan, and on the other side, you have Destiny. Both of them, all right, both Hassan and Destiny are mortal enemies, all right? But at the same time, they share a common enemy, a war between the East and the West. A war on two fronts. Here we go. Ready? All right, so this is my first link that I want to show you guys, okay? We're just going to get right into it, okay? No political segment, no introduction, okay? I'm here to report the drama news, so let's do it, okay? So, Yeet, Ock, all right, aka totally not Dan, okay? Totally not Dan Saltman, all right? Destiny takes major shots at Asmongold, okay? Now, this is not to be confused with back shots, which is what I gave your mom last night, all right? But, quote, he could come across JD Vance fucking his mom's corpse. Oh, God, that's my favorite fetish. And Vance could say, well, it's a made in America fleshlight. And Asmongold would defend it. That's how completely debased these subhuman fucking losers are. All right, let's watch this clip.
Yeah.
Real-time processing.
His argument for doing it was to retaliate for tariffs against other countries that weren't real. Now he's going back on those reciprocal tariffs, claiming it was to get a better deal. Yeah.
Real-time processing.
Of course he's going back on the tariffs because these people are coming to the table to negotiate with them. The tariffs were a bargaining chip to begin with. That was the entire point of the tariffs.
Do you think there'll ever be a world where I'm trying to imagine, like, if they start nullifying people's actual U.S. citizens, if they'll care?
No, they wouldn't. Asmund Slop would absolutely 100% defend
So because they wouldn't start with like, you know, fucking Joe Blow, right? They're going to start with someone that became a citizen from whatever reason. Like
they always find a way to recode whatever is being stated. They always find a way to recode it into a way that's acceptable. He could come across JD Vance fucking his mom's corpse, and JD Vance could say, well, it's a made in America fleshlight, and Asmongold would defend it. That's how completely debased these subhuman fucking losers are. Literally, the administration can take any position they want, and there will always be people like this who will find some way to make an excuse for it. It's beyond fucking, it's depravity, but
Okay, that was a little much.
I'm just saying, like, no matter what happened, like, you saw him computing there for a moment. He's like, they went back on the tariffs? Well, of course they went back on the tariffs. Like, yeah, that's because it was a negotiating thing. They brought the tariffs back? Yeah, because it helps our manufacturing. Like, no matter what happens, they're always going to, you know.
Okay.
Right, okay, so that was a perfect Asmongold impression. Now, whatever you say of Destiny, it doesn't really matter because... Okay, and then of course we'll read we'll read Asmongold's response to this, okay? Because, you know, this is something that went viral, so we're gonna read Asmongold's viral response, okay? Now, with that being said, all right, what Destiny just said was completely correct, okay? Say what you want about Destiny. Asmongold didn't do anything with Destiny, okay? But regardless, Destiny has most definitely, in fact, stood on his principles and his morals. You can't deny that part at the very least. And the reason for this is because, well, Asmongold never did anything bad to Destiny, of course, right? But Destiny attacked Asmongold first. Now, one might say this is a backstab. However, I would just like to say this is actually art of the deal. Okay, no, I'm kidding. No, this is because Destiny genuinely does view MAGA people as subhuman people, all right? But his so-called bridge with Asmongold is not different. So he's just following what his politics lead him to, right? Now, enough Destiny apologia, okay? Because we're here to talk about the drama, okay? I just want to give my 2 cents out there, all right? But Destiny is also correct on this one, okay? On another thing. And it's that no matter what Trump would do, it's always a win in Asmongold's eyes. In other words, there's no such thing as an unwinnable scenario for Asmongold. Now, normally you would think about that and go like, sorry, no losable, non-losable, always win scenario for Asmongold, okay? In most scenarios, you would go like, okay, what's the lose condition? What exactly is the lose condition? Well, there is no lose condition, actually. No matter what it is, no matter what Trump does, it will always be art of the deal to them, okay? If Trump maintains these tariffs and all the countries begin to cave in, that's an obvious win for Trump. And then all the liberals will be like, you know what? I think Trump's got a little bit of a point. And liberals would love to eat that fat L, okay? Because they love bending over, all right, in the spirit of compromise. Now, with that being said, I'm glad that liberals these days have been getting a lot more spying, all right? So, I'm happy about that part. But however, just know this, okay? In terms of Republicans, not only will they say that that win scenario is a win, but they'll also say the lose scenario is also a win, all right? Because remember, in this scenario, it is in fact the L scenario. What Trump did was that he retracted a lot of the tariffs, went back on the promises, and reduced it down to 10%, even though the economy is still crashing. And he still maintains a high tariff rate with China, all right, which, still crashes the economy, right, because we trade with China a lot. And Asmongold will look at that and go like, you know what? He's been trying to do this the entire time. Art of the deal, okay? So it doesn't really matter what Trump does. Asmongold will always be bending over to suck him off, right? I don't think there will ever be an Asmongold Destiny Bridge. It's more than that. There was a non-aggression treaty before Asmongold began covering politics consistently, and now that makes him fair game. I agree with that, okay? But not everybody will understand that part. Okay, so we have Asmongold responding here. A lot of people excuse deranged outbursts like this in Destiny's community because they think Destiny is fighting for a greater good that supersedes any form of accountability or decency. Now, the reason why I know immediately off the first thing that this paragraph is complete and utter bullshit is because Asmongold is the person, all right, who said, do you think they'll take me to ice raids where I can dress up as Ash Ketchum? There's not really any decency there. Asmongold has also refused to acknowledge that most of the people who were sent to El Salvador were in fact innocent and with no prior proven criminal record. So, no accountability, no decency there, all right? And Asmongold is also the kind of person who would love to fixate on trans issues, even though it is like just 1%, less than 1% of the population in terms of transports. So, the fact that Asmongold is trying to appeal to accountability or decency is really rich coming from him, considering just how hypocritical this statement is, right? What they fail to realize is that crash outs like this, his comments toward the firefighter who was killed during the Trump assassination attempt, and the kid with brain cancer who is giving an honorary Secret Service role actively damage any cause he advocates for. So I could easily refute this paragraph too, okay? So the firefighter, all right, who was killed during the Trump assassination attempt, okay? If you asked any Republican, who would you rather have killed if you had to choose one? The firefighter or Trump? Everybody would say the firefighter. Every single conservative would say the firefighter, okay? And in addition to this, okay, the firefighter was not protecting his family, all right? He was standing up and taking a picture. That's point number 2. Point number 3, all right? It's so funny watching people mauled over Destiny's entire glorification of the firefighter's death and joking about it, because they are the exact kinds of people who will, once again, all right, make fun of Paul Pelosi's attack on Paul Pelosi, right? And just so you guys can see just how reprehensible this is, and I'm not sure if Asmongold has actually covered this, but, however, just so it's a reminder, and nobody ever fucking forgets, okay? I feel compelled to share this again. Because I never, ever, ever, ever want to make people forget this. Donald Trump Jr. mocks Paul Pelosi attack. All right. So if I go down here, okay, I don't think he covered it. Of course he won't cover it. So Former President Trump's eldest child, the executive vice president of the Trump Organization, retweeted a photo on Sunday of a piece of underwear and a hammer that was captioned, "Got my Paul Pelosi Halloween costume ready." So if we were to look at this is in fact a very real picture, okay? You can see here, all right? The internet remains undefeated. Also, if you switch out the hammer for a red feather boa, you would be Hunter Biden in an instant. Okay, well, I mean, it looks like it's been deleted. Where can I find it? Because I'm pretty sure there was a picture on it. It's here somewhere. But you get the point, okay? So number one, Paul Pelosi. Number two, Greta Thunberg, okay? Reminder, okay? These disgusting fucks would 100% sexualize Greta Thunberg and talk about whether or not she would be fuckable and how unsexy of a kid she is, while talking about kid with brain cancer, okay? Never forget that, okay? All of this pandering towards children and the safety of children is completely fabricated. If you fell for it, then you fell for it, okay? And I won't feel bad for you. So the thing is that, again, all right, number one, the point doesn't work. And number two, the point doesn't work. And in addition, okay, the Trump administration has in fact defunded cancer research for kids, okay? Cancer research for kids and for adults, all right? So if this is the case, okay, this is another moot point. So far, we have 2 paragraphs out of the 4 that is completely and utterly incorrect, okay? Destiny delegitimizes left-wing political goals by using them as a shield while making vile, unwarranted personal attacks. Vile, unwarranted personal attacks, like towards white women, right? Because from what I remember from Asmongold's coverage is that constantly, whenever white women, in particular, people who happen to be white women, do something bad, Asmongold is all too quick to point out the fact that they're a white woman. Now, maybe this is associated with his trauma of his mom dying, all right, who is a white woman who died, okay? Maybe it's associated with that, okay? Maybe there's some kind of unearthed trauma, okay, that he refuses to resolve, okay? But or maybe it's just hatred of white women, okay? Because Asmongold, in every single possible way, okay, will take every single possible opportunity to make fun of white women. He'll always point them out. He'll always say they're the root of every issue. So, like, I know it's very soy to point out misogyny, very soy to point out racism, but, you can be racist against white people and you can be misogynist against women. So, in combination, you are racist and misogynist, okay? So, I'm very happy to say that, yes, vile, unwarranted personal attacks like the one that I just made against Asmongold's mom, yeah, that's right. I don't think they have any standards, so I don't think I should have any standards here either, okay? Hopefully his community can realize this before he causes further harm to the causes they claim to care so much about. So here's the thing, pandering, moderating, and policing your own language can only work so far. It only works in terms of actually making deals, and when the other side obeys the rules the same as you, okay? But when the other side doesn't actually obey the rules, when the other side doesn't actually follow the same rules that you do or the same laws that you do, and they spend every single possible opportunity to dismantle the very institutions and the very foundation of everything these rules and laws stand on, then yeah, no, this is the harm is still going, but with moderation, it still doesn't stop the harm, right? So the only way is so then you fight as dirty as them, and that is the only way you can possibly get back at these kinds of people, okay? Because people like Asmongold is completely and utterly reprehensible, and these people hide true cruelty and true malice and true discrimination with a mask of niceties, politeness, empty platitudes, virtue signaling, and the guise of compromise, okay? So these people are completely dishonest, grifting hacks, and I hope that nobody ever, ever, ever takes Asmongold seriously who is actually smart, okay? So anyway, that's about it. Now, here's the thing. It's not actually that's about it, because I've got more about this drama I want to talk about, okay? Now, if I were to go to Destiny's response to all this, okay? Because he did actually make a response to all this. Now, for the first unrelated tweet that we can see, so this was tweeted today as well. Destiny says, watching Asmongold go off for an hour about how much he doesn't care about what people think about him. He's literally streaming from an alt account because low viewership on his main account was making him suicidal low. So he's just making fun of Asmongold, okay? And yeah, really, that's all I had to say. I'm just reporting this. That's it. Okay. Now, something that's a bit more substantial, I'm sure. Now, this is totally not meant to, fucking represent anybody, okay? So this is another tweet that got viral, okay? An 179,000 view tweet here, all right? So this random person named Gemzar, okay, seems to be a DGGer who also draws stuff, goes, trigger snowflake. So this is Asmongold in an Ash Ketchum clothing, okay, deliberately referencing the one time where Asmongold says, like, oh, do you think that if they take me to ice raids wearing Ash Ketchum, that, I can stream it? Again, totally not vile thing to say, totally not trying to make entertainment out of other people's misery, right? So yeah, it's hilarious they're deporting people without due process. And then here's Asmongold in his regular clothing, the white clothing, no effort clothing. You're not doing your side of the political spectrum any favors by making jokes about things I like. So yes, this is absolutely correct, okay? Asmund won over a little bit today when I saw his video defending Gargura. Well, it's really easy to defend Gargura, to be honest, okay? So, I feel like I shouldn't be giving any points there, but fair enough. But anyway, that's it, right? So here, this is absolutely right? On one side, Asmongold is saying, oh, you're not doing your side of the political aisle by doing any favors, by making jokes about things that I like. However, at the same time, he did in fact joke about, how much they're deporting people. Oftentimes he calls President Trump the content president. It is content, but however, deporting innocent people is, and calling that content, especially disregarding in a way that completely, disregards the seriousness of the matter, is most definitely a reprehensible and vile thing, right? This bumbling buffoon of a man, okay, of a bloke, is a total magnanimous, fucking disgrace, okay, to the internet, all right? Anyway, here we have the final part of the drama, all right? So here specifically, Destiny made a long-ass post, okay? I don't think Asmongold responded to this yet, okay? But Destiny retweeted this one, said, don't ever let fascist adjacent people like this who celebrate the arbitrary and malicious firing of federal employees and who say they would gleefully cheer for the deportation of people without due process from the United States gaslight you into thinking you're being immoral for blasting them for it. Remember, people like Asmongold would defend Trump executing U.S. citizens for arbitrary reasons if he started doing it. There is no line that Trump can cross that these people would call him out on, ever. They will constantly redefine words or make excuses, right? There's no such thing as real language, right? Newspeak, for why whatever it is he's doing is okay. Remember, freedom is slavery, peace is war, right? Exactly the kind of redefining of words that, are so prevalent in authoritarian regimes, right? These people simultaneously make jokes of the unilateral destruction of our laws and traditions, then turn around and lose their fucking mind anytime a black person or female character is cast in some video game. So, this is a little bit of, over-exaggeration. Well, no, it's not an over-exaggeration. No, you know what? I won't say it. I don't think it's an over-exaggeration. But, however, the unilateral destruction of our laws and traditions, make jokes out of it? Absolutely, okay? Asmongold is exactly the kind of person who would take very, very who cares in real life kind of scenario, like culture war issues, really really seriously. But on the other side, like when he's streaming and President Trump just did something epic, right? Then he's gonna say, "Oh, that's so funny and epic." You know what he do? So yeah, no. Again, these people are pathetic. Okay. First, people like Cunny points and those in TGG use that excuse for Destiny and all the shitty things he does because he is good for the cause. No one says that about Asmongold. Well, here's the difference, okay? No matter what you think about Destiny, Destiny is still better than Asmongold infinitely, okay? He organizes audience to do canvassing efforts. He goes out of his way to talk to different Congress people. And, you know, on the other hand, Asmongold and other people who are like him never ever do anything close to any of that, okay? The reality of the situation is Destiny could rape 50 kids, okay, and he still would have done better politically than Asmongold, okay? That's just the truth of it. Anyway, they're blatantly lying about the unanimous SCOTUS verdict on Garcia's deportation and Asmon silent 100%. Okay, let's watch this clip that Destiny posted.
So, like, they're doing this thing with, like, these deportations where they bring in, like, celebrities to deport people, and it made me wonder, what is the probability that Tom Homan would let me go with him dressed up as Ash Ketchum with watching them do deportations? Like, I feel like it's probably at least 5% chance, right? Like, I think we're at a 5 to 10% chance that this could happen. Yeah, exactly. That'd be really good content. It would be. And, yeah, probably not going to happen, though, but it would be fucking funny. For the love of God, you must try. Yeah, it'd be fucking hilarious. So, like...
So there you go, guys. There it is, guys. As Asmongold and Rev Says Destiny would say, okay? All right, here we have Asmongold literally joking about... Again, okay, he's joking about specifically... I never watch Asmongold, but you should listen to me about Asmongold vibe in here. I literally watch every single Asmongold political video. Every single one. Almost every single one, actually. Maybe I missed like 1 or 2, right? So, no. Also, like, yeah, again, here we have Asmongold literally joking about making profit, making content out of cruelty. Meanwhile, he's trying to make an appeal. All right, so yes, he's a fucking hypocrite. Okay, so there you go. Now, with that being said, okay, you do seem kind of... I am obsessed, okay? I'm unhinged. I don't even deny it, okay? I am unhinged. I am upset. I mean, obsessed, okay? And upset, okay? Okay.